going to be doing a sketchbook tour of my sketchbook. Wow. Amazing. Imagine that. So, yeah. I will warn you that there is a fair amount of body horror as well as some mild nudity, so if that's not really what you're looking for, if you're uncomfortable with that, then you might want to walk away. This is my first sketchbook. I started it when I was in 8th grade, right before spring break, and then I ended it a couple months ago in May, like towards the end of my junior year. So it took about 3 years to finish, but also I don't think that really counts because I lost it. I didn't even lose it. I just went to like spiral sketchbooks for a while and then also stopped drawing for some time. But yeah. So I'm gonna explain some of these stickers. I got this from a thrift store, and I've looked into their other stuff, girlcollective.com. They're a really interesting website, and I would suggest if you are interested in that, then yeah, I'd suggest you look into that. This I got at the library. I got this at Target. I got this in a compass packet because I got like a drawing compass from Mr. Penn on Amazon, and then they came with that Ferrero Rocher stickers because my friend gave me those. Or gave me the Ferrero Rocher for my birthday, and then yeah. Hot Mess Express and Wisconsin Dells. I both got those at the Wisconsin Dells in a cheese store. And then, yeah. Taking this guy off. Let's see. Whoa. Oh no. Oh no, buddy. Oh no, am I taking his thing off too? What are you? There we go. Ooh, now it's sticky. Oh well, that's my own fault. I got this from a camp counselor. I got these two from a friend. Got this while I was in Kansas City at Betty Ray's ice cream. It's a really good ice cream. Got these two off Temu. Got this magic hand from, I think, the same camp counselor that gave me this one. I got this skull in an extreme horror sketchbook, or not sketchbook, sticker book that I got from, what's it called? Five Below. And then I got this from my church. Oh, and I made this. It was supposed to go on a page in here, but kept falling out, so I ended up putting it on the front. And then this thing says, apparently Coke Zero has caffeine. I use the back of my sketchbook for, I don't really decorate it so much. I use it more for notes and like getting pens to awaken, as well as like a cutting board and a paint palette kind of thing. Yeah, occasionally. It's more so for the other things, less of a paint palette, but whatever. I have a travel tag stuck in here so that people can get my information if they find this while out, and if I lose this. It's taped in. Used to be hot glued in, but it wasn't sticking really, so I ended up taping it in. I got this is a little doodle, and then I got this for my birthday, for a birthday party that was like boba tea themed. Huh. I need to use that sometime. Wow. A lot of the tips that I've heard online when I was starting this, especially, was like how to start a sketchbook, because like I first got this sketchbook and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be my first official sketchbook. Wow. I'm like, those tips were cool, I guess. That sounds like I'm trying to be nonchalant. They're just not helpful for me. So what I found is just starting off. I throw all cares away whenever I do start my sketchbook, because I can. Maybe an intro page if I feel like that's needed, but I didn't do that for this book. I use whiteout and tape a lot. The tape is holding this thing together, just barely, but still is doing more than I could. This book doesn't trust me anymore. It trusts the glue and tape of which it holds, is held together by. Yeah. Anyways, these are color and pencil swatches. I had an OC that I was going to draw throughout the book. Her name was Paige, like sketchbook Paige, because I saw that in I think, Drawing with Waffles, I think it was. I think, one of their videos, but yeah. I don't really do that. I didn't end up doing that, so I ended up putting tape over it and, like, doing that. But it's a really cool idea. I like it. I might do that sometime. We'll see. I found these in a creative writing book during a creative writing, project, thing. Kitty cat. This is a self-portrait. That's one of the tips that I found. And it's not bad. I like the idea of drawing it yourself at the start of a book. Yeah. This is like another these are both 8th grade pieces. Yeah. I'll point out stuff that's like less 8th grade. This is also 8th grade. It's a collage piece because I wanted to cover up this, because I used watercolor as if it was acrylic paint, because I thought it was acrylic paint because it came in a tube, and I was like, yeah, only acrylic and oil paint come in tubes. I don't know why I thought that. Whatever. And I closed the book, and alas, I was a fool for doing that, and we see the consequences of my actions. I got this washi tape from my Nana. A lot of people think that the girl here is Melanie Martinez whenever I show them it. It's not. It's just a girl. I don't really draw with references, like, hardly ever. And I don't say that to be like, yeah, I don't really need references, which I definitely do. It's just I like to draw freely, whenever I don't have a specific idea that I want to follow with. These are 8th grade. That also. And the highlighter. But this, and this. The hand and eyes and critter. And I think that, I don't know. Those were from, when I was picking this book back up. This is actually one of the last pages that I did in this book. Yeah, I'm trying to practice anatomy. And there's this little girl. I like her. She's really cute. We have 4 pages glued together because whenever I see something that I don't really like, I would just glue them together, when I was making this page. We have some poem based on, this note that I took, coffin with a mirror. Like, I thought it would look cool as like a necklace. I might still do that. I have wire and stuff, and I have mirrors. I have a mirror right here, actually. I need to do that, actually. That's a really cool idea that I want to do. Like a locket. Anyways, respectfully, I can't wait to be done with chemistry. This is AP chemistry specifically. It's not for me. If you want to go into a chemistry career, go for it. Pop off. Not for me. Not for me. I'm really bad at chemistry. Acids and bases. Gotta enunciate that D there. They're not my enemy. We just really don't get along. So, hence, I had struggles. These were songs that were stuck in my head. Hellfire from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Phantom of the Opera, The Weezer Riff. Animal Cannibal by Cecilia Condit. Side tangent. Cecilia Condit is amazing. Her story is insane. Like, it's crazy. She's a filmmaker, and she posts her stuff on YouTube. She's the woman who made Possibly in Michigan, which is like the thing that was like popular in 2021 for like the I bite at the hand that feeds me, or whatever it is, eats me, I don't know. Anyways, that was stuck in my head for a while, and then I Me Myself by Will Wood, and then Soldier Poet King by the Oh Hellos. This looks like a ribcage, I feel like. I don't know. I might just be delusional. Heads up, there's going to be some gore slash horror aspects on this page, on this next page. So, yeah. Behold. Yeah, there's this creature. I lost my soul within the mind's cacophony. I found a god despite all the cacophony. I don't know. Oops. I'm gonna put that back real quick. Anyways, I really like this piece. This I actually made while I was in 8th grade. Like in the middle of the night. And I really like it. It's really cool. I don't know what I was going through, but it must have been something to spur that thing on. I don't know. I should come up with a name for her. Yeah, so. We have this now. Gummy bear. This was supposed to be a, thing. It was supposed to be an alien that you saw through the thing, but yeah. I drew most of these. My friend drew this one, and then I collaged these. A lot of these were done in a different sketchbook that I had to cut the doodles that I liked out of. And I keep the smaller art pieces that I like inside a little box, which has my name on it, so we're gonna cover that. But oh, that's where my pliers went. Oh, okay. Sorry. But a lot of my smaller pieces I keep in a box. Yeah. And so I cut those out and put them on this page. And my friend drew that, and I think she named him Connor? I don't know. In a silly mood. I drew that right before going to an Easter bash at an elementary school. And then a kid saw that and was like, "Hey, can I draw on that page?" Apparently she saw the paint markers that I was using. And she decided to draw using the paint markers, and she had me finish this drawing, or no, she actually had me start this drawing and then finish it. She finished it. And then after that I smell queers in my general proximity. These things are, things that kind of like give me a little bit of inspiration. So Scarfolk Council, which is like, it's kind of like in the territory of, SCP type stuff. UVB 76, I don't know, that might have something to do with UV light, which UVB light, but I don't know why the 76 would be there. Maybe it's something to do with something in space? It gives off the same energy as Zuzve, which I think is like a quasi-moon or whatever around Venus, I think it is. Which, used to be named 2000 VE or something. 2002 VE, but then it got renamed to Zuzve. It's a whole thing. I think there's not This American Life. What's it called? There's a podcast episode on it. Not the Hidden Brain. It's a podcast. I think it's from NPR. Yeah. Exodus 33:20, I think, is the one that goes, no man shall look upon God and live, or something. And that's like when Moses is at the top of, I think it was, don't quote me here, but Mount Sinai. I need to touch up on my Christian, like on that bit of the Bible a little bit more. And then that's at the start of Portrait of a God, which is also a very good short film. The Portrait of Dorian Gray, I've heard a lot of good stuff about, but not so much about the author necessarily. But again, sometimes we need to separate the art from the artist, I feel like, at least. Because, like, for me at least, I make these different, like, characters for when I do my art. Similar to, like I try to create a new story in my mind for what I'm trying to create. I don't know. And then No Exit, which is one of my favorite plays, which is also a short story that I read while I was in my 8th grade year. No, not 8th grade year, freshman year. And it's a really great story. It's a little gay. I love Inez. She's a boss babe. Let's see. There is a little bit of body horror when I flip this guy out. So, if, again, that's not what you're into, you might want to skip forwards a little bit. Hypnagogic? No, it's Hypno Girl Boss. Hypnagogic is the state between waking or sleeping and waking up. That's typically when, like, sleep paralysis demons are seen. Like, sleep paralysis is a hypnagogic state, I believe, if I remember correctly. Alexa, make an announcement.
What's the announcement?
I'm in my room, brother.
Announcing.
I'm in my room, brother.
Alexa, make an announcement.
What's the announcement?
I'm getting ready to go.
Announcing.
And then here it says anonymity is a sin. And we have like a bunch of different textures in the background. And then this is the part where
Getting ready to go shouldn't take 45 minutes.
So, yeah. Guts. And I really like this guy. He's silly. And then I used hot glue to add the guts on there. Notes about stuff, a bunch of girl bosses, and then a girl boss, little boss babe, singular. Yeah. Poisson d'avril is the French equivalent of April Fool's Day. I can't remember, but I think it was because I'm not gonna say that. It's a whole tangent, but yeah. Women fear me, fish want me. Can attest to that personally. Alpha, like a lowercase alpha letter, and not Jesus fish. It's a kind of a stats joke. And then I found this one on the floor. My friend gave me that one, and then I made this one. And then I found this on the floor, and then I got this off of a Dollar Tree lip stain bottle. Experimenting. I thought this would keep the paint from drying onto the next page, which was originally going to be the kind of horrifying girl there. This is 8th grade art. That you saw a little bit ago. And so, yeah. This is an eye. Most of this was done at like 3 a.m. We have this. I really like this piece. This piece is very interesting. This was done while I had art block. So it's not great. We have this. I love all the texture and like contrast and stuff, and it's like it looks kind of vaguely Mona Lisa-ish, but if the Mona Lisa was nowhere near the Mona Lisa. And this was a dry erase marker and a bunch of graphite. You can kind of see. Me planning out like a riddle. And then we have these creatures. Yeah. I did this, and that, while I was in 8th grade. And then the rest is while I was backstage during a musical. We did Shrek the Musical. I did Shrek the Musical, or we did Shrek the Musical, so hence the Shrek-themed stuff. And then I was really bored, so I drew gender-bent versions of
you're going to the library to get a book.
I drew gender bent versions of cartoon creatures and stuff, so Danielle Tiger and Michelle Wazowski, and then all these others.
Clearly I'm not.
Doodles and notes and stuff. I do like this eye. This eye is really nice. This is a cats, and then a kid that I babysat once did this collaged this whole page. I like what she did. She said that this was going to be a sun. These are notes, and then more notes, and then little drawings, and I was like, this could be a potential French name. I don't know what I was thinking. First piece made, post art block. Most of the stuff from here is going to be more junior year and beyond. Sophomore, end of sophomore year and beyond. This I made right after the election results came out, and I was real happy about them. Well, I wasn't. Anyways, I decided that these were all going to be trans people. Ow! Just hurt myself. That hurt. And so, for me especially, I feel like straight, rigid lines, you see that I've demonstrated a few times before, like this, are kind of like symbolic of like feeling trapped, or like choked out almost, kind of. So that's why they're over the voice, or the mouth, and in French I wrote, where's my voice? And then that's why the hair is wiggly lines, because I know that a lot of people that I know is like, they'll express who they feel or their gender identity more through their hair sometimes. Yeah. Quote from my brother. This is society. You just don't get it. No, it's me trying to finish my sketchbook page, and I was like tired, and the marker had bled through, and so I took my miscellaneous ink thing that had already spilled on the desk, and I just took it off the desk. I was like, and then just rubbed my hand around in it, and then you'll see, especially on this one, I was like, and then that's how we got that. Same here. Bernadette, she's my favorite. Claire Savier is also the main character, but she's also really silly. I love Regan. She's so fun. Oh, I love her. And then these are agents for BPO, which is the Bureau of Paranormal Oniric Events, which oniric is relating to dreams. I think it's a Greek root, if I remember correctly. Oniros, or something like that? Something like that. I could have done hypnos, which is for sleep, but I decided to be oniric. Do oniric. I'm classy, I'm elegant. Cauchemar is the French word for nightmare. And then this is like these are quotes, and then cool, like that. Anyways, note to self there. And then this is a idea that I had. This is gonna be what her fabric would look like. And then this would be like a cool idea for a stained glass window, I feel like. Yeah. Moi-même is myself in French, and so I always feel like I relate to birds, and so I drew myself as a wonky looking bird. Yeah. And so there's that. And this was going to be myself originally, and then I just went to a bird. And then notes: to make the audience's jaw drop, you need to drop your jaw. That's French. Or not French, wow. That's choir. Sage words of choir wisdom. I made a fake cult. Their name is the Followers of the Bird's Tears. Because, yeah. And so that's why the mask looks like that. It's like the tears are there, and then, yeah. I like this page. This is a very interesting page. I think I've done it before, too. And then I made this poem, which actually ended up making it into my chapbook with some French in it. There's a little bit of body horror in this one. So eyes out for that. I should have probably warned about that one. I don't know. Oh well. Pulling on irises and like an eye collapsing in on itself. Kind of think like in Uzumaki when the one girl, like the spiral, like her eye falls into the spiral. That's kind of what I was thinking, but like with the iris and it like swallows into itself, kind of like a black hole or something. I don't know. And then picking off an iris and like it like flips up, kind of like how contacts would, but it just takes off like the whole thing from the eye. And this is notes on interview with a bilingual person. Also some more body horror on this page, so keep an eye out for that. Lips divided. Yeah. Melting face, kind of. Wabbit. This is where I started to collage more, I think. Yeah. And then we have this fabric. I used fabric a lot. So, yeah. There is a mild amount of body horror. Yeah. So, I'll cover it anyways, because the rest of it is fairly okay, I think. But one of my things is I bleed ink, or I bleed through ink. Because I do. That's how I feel pain, or contemplate. No, think through the pain that I'm feeling. Stay there. Okay. Yeah. So this is a collage. Christmas tree. Non, c'est un Christmas tree. It's a Christmas tree. Yeah. L'appel du vide is the call of the void, which is the, it sounds so ominous. It's the, like the voice or like thoughts, like when you're like at the top of a bridge or something, or at the top of a, tall building or a mountain or something or whatever, and your brain's just saying, jump off! Jump off! That's what that is called. The l'appel du vide. It was first coined in French, so, yeah. Ooh. Hey there. I bleed through ink. Again. Notes. Church notes. How can you be asexual and zesty? Quote from my mother. Yeah. These are notes. This is a notebook passage that I've written. I like it a lot. It's really cool. Notes on this side, and then what do you get when you combine stats and quantum physics? A box and whisker plot. And then why did the quantum physicist go to the doctor to get a Schrodinger's cat scan? Anyways, Schrodinger's cat girl. There's a bit of horror aspects. Le mot du jour, cauchemar. The word of the day, nightmare. I was in a good mental state when I wrote this. I swear. I don't know. I was not in a state at all, except misery probably, when I wrote either of these. What choice is the soul to make? We see the lines as exhibited before. And then I like this idea, like my eyes being like shadow, like surrounded in shadow in my glasses. Yeah, that's a self-portrait with the headphones. Yeah. I do like this little bird guy. He's so silly. He's a king. Keep this coupon. I don't know. Planning for the graphic novel, which is what Claire Somnier is from. And then we have this page that I found in between a wall and a locker in the art hallway at school. Yeah. We have more planning for the graphic novel. And then this is government notes. That's what that was. This is planning for...
Sophie, if you're gonna say
This is planning for my memoir that we did in graphic novels as literature. More of that. And then this is notes that we did during when it was our turn to present, me and my friend, during the JFK assassination, like who killed JFK thing that we did as a school. Wrote this down coming home from a party, quote from my stats teacher, and then different types of horror. Houdini child, the average witchcraft enjoyer. Different ideas for faces and like art, ways to express stuff. I don't like this. It's okay, I guess. Yeah. Also don't like this. It's okay though, because again, artists don't have to like every single piece they make. Yeah. CDs for the Prius. Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, Good and Evil, Willwood and the Tapeworms, In Case I Make It. Dark Side of the Moon, I have no idea what the heck that is. But okay. Me ranting about how I need to get on my analog horror grind because, yeah. Side note, analog, or the daily grind in French is le train-train quotidien, which I find very funny. It, like, rhymes. Me drawing myself in the style of the Little Prince. Not doxing my family. No, no, no. I really like her. She's cute. She's also fun. Cheshire Cat. Spoder. E-meow. Blink-182 Mew. Scene Cat also. Recommendations for art supplies from my art teacher. Wrote a song in French. These are ideas for the creatures in my in the graphic novel. Yeah. Did this at 2 a.m. during a family reunion in the bathroom with the light. No, not even the light on, actually. I had my flashlight on. Il a été intronisé. He was inducted. We were talking about politics and stuff to our Belgian pen pals in French class. I once thought, or no, I didn't once think. My choir teacher, my art teacher once thought that this was gouache. It's not gouache. I just mix a butt ton of white paint with my watercolors. We have this. I like this. That's fun. More stuff for the graphic novel. Also more stuff for the graphic novel. And then I've written down that I'm pouletarian, which means that I eat chicken meat, but no other types of meat. We have another handprint. That. Amogus. Little neighborhood, and then stuff and things. Don't let the pigeon drive the bus. No, it's don't let the golden cow lead your new religious movement and turn you away from God. I did that during Sunday school when I was helping with Sunday school, and the lesson was Moses on the top of the mountain, coming down from the top of the mountain. And then one student in my class once said, "How does one crank that soldier boy?" So that was a thing. Peekaboo. I don't like this page, but others tend to usually like it, so I guess whatever. I like to make my art look like a collage, even if it's just a bunch of different textures and stuff. Did a bunch of little rats. They're so silly. Art block, it's not allowed. This is a self-portrait. I have a very specific way about drawing.
Are you still reading?
I have a very specific way that I draw teeth. So, yeah. Behold the powers of artism. This is another fish from Poisson d'Avril. Static on a TV. Yeah. We have this. I did this around my birthday. Chapbook. We made chapbooks, which is like a poetry zine kind of thing for our what's it called? Creative writing class. Mr. Hallisms, stuff that my stats teacher said. yeah, my friend drew this. Little happy cat. Autism creature. I like this image. I need to do it a little bit more refined. It's like a rabbit and snake. It's like an Ouroboros, but rabbit is also half of it. So they're chomping down on each other. Oh my gosh, how can a person be so edgy? I'm dumbfounded because it's the anarchy symbol. Oh my gosh, what? So listen to how that's like 2 pages. I don't know what happened there. Must have been a bunch of glue, I guess. ASMR. Olivier de Sagazan. He's a I drew him there. He does like performance art. And like he tries to go into a trance when he does said art. And he'll put like clay on his face, and he's French, and he says la a lot. Because la is
Are you going to take Henry or not?
yes. Alrighty.
There's no active call.
Whatever. Olivier de Sagazan. Really cool guy. Religious symbolism page, because a lot of what inspires my art is my faith in Christianity. So, yeah. Here's the, oh no. Mild nudity. Oh no. Oh no. Anyways. Yeah. Yeah. I'm too tired for your shenanigans. And then this is a throne versus how people can design thrones and claim that they're a biblically accurate OC. Because that's a thing. And, like, biblically accurate angel. Which, yeah, thrones are a type of angel, but there are also angels that look kind of like humans, actually. So, yeah. I like this. I used, puffy paint that's, like, ages old. As well as this. Like, it's from the 80s. Like, legitimately. So, this is what I picture an angel's wing would be. Yeah. Here's another thick page. Yeah, I don't really like this page so much. It's okay, though. Amalgus. I'm sorry, world. Self-portrait, self-portrait, self-portrait. Wood glue holding some beads down. Kind of. A puffy sticker. Who's there? Beep, 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 beep. Oh, no, I can't turn the page using that sticker anymore. Or bead anymore. Yeah. Victor was surprisingly mad that I'd wasted money on an enormous chicken because apparently he couldn't appreciate the hysterical value. I don't know what's wrong with Victor, y'all. What was that, Patricia? I don't know why I spelled was like that. Nothing? The child. It makes as much sense to you as it does to me, if I'm being honest. I might have more context, but, like, the context doesn't add anything. So, we have Janky Joint Jared over here. He's a little guy. Little kitty cat. Meow. And then this is the final piece. Sometimes when you want to be heard, the best course of action is silence, which may explain why I'm never taken seriously. And people laugh at that a fair amount, but it wasn't really supposed to be funny, but I also see why people do think it's funny. Anyways, thank you for watching this. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, morning, night, or whatever time of day it is when you're watching this. Bye-bye.